Hello, fellow YouTubers. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Doing a bit better. Had like a 1 day flu cold thing smack me around last week, and I'm better for the most part. Throat's a little wonky, but I should be able to get through something like this. Excuse me. But I I'm actually making a response video because I don't think I've really done too many of those. And like Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see. I think I paraphrased that a bit, but that was the gist of what he was saying, I hope. But I guess I have lamented over things that have kind of been going on recently with some of the YouTube, it's not drama, but some of the YouTube stuff that's been going on. And, alright, well, make response video. I complained about, there's no more response video, which is a really crummy thing that YouTube got rid of, was the whole responding to a video thing. I thought that was a very nice way to make a response instead of just a long entry to be like, here, read this wall of text, because I'm pretty bad about that, and I know I'm bad about that, but generally it's a way for me to kind of explain each of my points about things and whatnot. So thought it'd be easier to do a response video. So if anybody wants to respond to me or to the video I'm responding to, do that and link me to it so I can see, because we've we've drifted away from that a bit, and it would be kind of nice to get that pendulum swung back the other way. My response is to the Mr. Johnny Millennium and his list of RPGs he tried to like. It's referred to as RPGs I tried to like, hyphen, dash, colon, but, and then Happy Console Gamer. But it's the RPGs I tried to like. I'll link it somewhere either here, down below, and if you haven't seen it yet, do see it, because I'm going to do it for a different video, because I don't want this to derail into that, because I'll rant on about it. But because somebody likes something does not mean they hate it. And just because somebody doesn't like something doesn't mean they don't understand it. And that, to me, I think, are 2 points that seem to become forgotten, that are forgotten when having any sort of conversation about things. So these are some of the games that I myself tried to like and just couldn't get into. Start with an easy one. I'll be honest, a lot of them I don't have because I don't like them. And when I came back, I was like, yep, called from the pile there, because I seriously had like 8 boxes of nonsense sent back. So yeah. First one is Final Fantasy V. I do not like this. This is one of those games I actually did try to like. I remember playing it freshman year in Bowling Green, where I went to school, university. And I remember trying to play it. I was like, okay, this isn't so bad, playing it. And the second semester, I remember I didn't have a roommate so much the first semester. They kind of just hung out with somebody else, so I kind of had the room to myself. And then I moved in with somebody else who has been we've been best friends ever since. And I remember playing Final Fantasy V. I was playing it in the dorm room, playing it, and I fell asleep in the middle of playing it. He came home, he came to the dorm, he came back with a mutual friend of ours, and this mutual friend's like, how the fuck do you do that? Like, it woke me up. Like, it wasn't late. It was like 3 in the afternoon, 2-3 in the afternoon, and I dozed off playing that game. Like, I hate the story in it. I don't like the music. There's a couple really fantastic songs, but for the most part, ugh. And I didn't beat it until 2 years later when that the dorm room, I guess the dorm roommate, my roommate and I, we were living in an apartment, and we decided we were going to beat this together because I was not going to be able to beat it on my own. I have a list of these things. Another one of those games is Earthbound. And I think it's probably because of the humor. There's something to be said about not liking a game because of its humor. And that is not a condemnation on the game itself. It is that it just doesn't work for me. There are plenty of comedians that I like that if I showed some of people, they're probably not going to like them either. It's a purely subjective taste sort of thing. And it goes back to the thing, whenever I say I don't like Earthbound, I get this. I mean, it's just with anybody, really. I'm probably going to get maybe somebody saying, "What the fuck, why don't you like Final Fantasy V? It's a great game." Okay, you find it great, that's fine. You got to give me points, because I can list off a lot of points why I hate that game. Earthbound, it just didn't jive with me. Like, I find the roulette health meter kind of thing, that was actually pretty fascinating. I thought that was kind of cool that you could take more damage than you have, but you can still stay alive if you're quick enough and stuff. I thought that was pretty clever. And also when you just run into enemies who are a lot weaker than you, you're just like, done. That's nice. But I just really found the game boring. Found it boring, didn't find it humorous, and when you're not finding a game funny that's kind of got the premise of being funny, it's a hard it's a hard slog through. And that's not to say, oh, it's a terrible game. I had plenty of people saying, hey, you gotta play this, gotta play this. They didn't tell me exactly what, other than they just said it was fantastic. And so when I started playing it, I was like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Some of the music's pretty good too. Like the one I remember most is the Porky battle theme. That I can't think of what the penultimate fight, I think it is. It's a pretty rockin' song. But I never played all the way through to get to that point. I watched somebody else doing that, and I think also that song's on Smash Brothers. So. Alright. Another one on here that I have, and I have the game of it here, is the Labyrinth no Kanata, or Beyond the Labyrinth for 3DS. It's a rogue dungeon where instead of going down, you're going up. And you have 4 characters, plus this girl here. And you're tasked with getting through this while keeping her alive. And you have, it's like a rock, paper, scissors sort of thing. So you have like ice, fire, and wind. So, and it's represented like blue, red, and green. And it's a rock, paper, scissors kind of way with that. And you got to do different things to make sure you guys don't die and all that kind of stuff. It's not bad. Motoi Sakuraba does the music, and it's not nearly as, like, initially when you hear it, you may not think of Sakuraba doing it, but he does a good job with it. It sings, the dude puts out like 4 albums a year. Dude, it's crazy. But I want to like this game so much, but I end up just getting bored with it because I'm not the biggest roguelike fan. It's not bad. Like the 3D effect of the, and I know that's kind of throwing it back when they were actually trying to push the 3D thing. But the 3D effects are kind of jarring there a little bit, but it's not. It doesn't look too bad of a game, but it's just like the monsters are a lot of. They're not really like. They're okay, but they're not anything memorable. They're not like popping into my head or anything. It's more so that it's a roguelike, and the outside of get the hell out of here, and instead of descending, you're ascending. It's okay, but that is that. It's not a bad game. I do kind of wish. I wish it, not kind of, but I do wish it was released outside of Japan. Kind of doubting that. Thank you, Konami. But because I know a lot of people who do like roguelikes, so at least it'll give them a new roguelike to test out there. Cool thing about it was that initially the game starts out like 8-bit style, and then quickly goes into that. So, all right. Another one I don't have. I actually have the first game in it, but I don't have this particular one. Is Valkyria Chronicles 3. I don't hate the game. I hate that it went to the PSP. I did not like the transition from the PS3 to the PSP, and that really killed my mood for it. So I'm really excited to see what they do with the. I believe 4. They're going on the PS4 with this next game. So I'm actually excited for that. I don't have a PS4, but I'm excited for that one. I hope I did not misspeak on that one. I hope I'm not like, oh yeah, totally. I mean, I know it's on Steam, so if you have Valkyria Chronicles, or you want to play Valkyria Chronicles 1, go check it out on Steam. It's a fantastic game. The 3 isn't like where 2 lost me. It wasn't only the fact that that it transitioned to the PSP, so it made these really tiny maps, and you have to like move from one map to another. Part of it also was the setting with the. I am not, and this is probably why I don't like the Trails of Cold Steel, the Sen no Kiseki stuff, is because it's the settings, like the school setting, not my kind of thing. Really, it just doesn't. I can think of maybe one game, like right off the top of my head, that had that setting that I didn't mind the game. That was Persona 3. More than I enjoyed it, but it's really just not. There's a lot of things that are not my thing on this list because I don't like them. Not that I don't like them, but that's why I tried to like them. But Valkyria Chronicles 3, on the other hand, it switched to a group of no names, or like the sullied of the group, and so you're working with them, but it just. I don't know, it just did not have the same kind of magic that the first one had. Like, I loved the art style, the aesthetic of that, of 1. 3's, just, why did you go to the PSP? So, and so I tried playing it, and I think I got about maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours into it, and then I just kind of was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this one. I played a little bit of 2s, and then I ended up skipping it. Like, not feeling this one really at all either. Let's see here. Chiyaku, even though I already just checked that. Star Ocean 1. Now, I don't know how. Like, the whole series is one of those kind of things. Series I try to like. I enjoy 2. Star Ocean 2 I enjoy a lot. I like the music for it. I think the endings are really bad. But it's a lot of fun outside of like a really big thing that happens that doesn't seem to really like the reactions to something that happened in the game that's kind of big it never really sat with me well. I don't think they did that very well, particularly to that character. But Star Ocean 1, I don't know. Like, I actually prefer the Super Famicom version of the game. The remake of it onto the PSP is nice, so that people who've never really played it can get a chance to play it and stuff. And I didn't like that version very well. I know Sushi and I tried to do we were planning to do a podcast on it. He blitzed through it and got through it, and I'm just like, I can't do this. There's been a couple games that are like that, and that was one I think he was kind of upset about. And I was just like, yeah, no, I don't. I'd rather play the Super Famicom version, because this one, it didn't work for me. And even the Super Famicom game, I like it, but never enough to really like be enthralled with it enough to beat it. But if I'm thinking of lists of super duper games, none of those games in that series are hitting the list. Maybe 2 gets up there a little bit, but it's no. This was another game that Sushi and I talked about on one of the portable episodes for Power On, and that was Paper Mario 64. Like, I remember seeing the commercials for it, where Bowser's got Peach roped up over like a paper shredder and all that kind of stuff, and I was really excited to want to play it because this is at the, when did that game come out? 2000? So they had those commercials in the late 90s showing this, and in the late 90s I was finishing up playing like Super Mario. I mean, the game may came out earlier than that, actually. May came out in 99. But I remember seeing commercials for it and at the tail end of playing Super Mario RPG. So I was like super excited. Didn't get to play it until 15, 16 years later. And oh boy. No, just it's so, it's not a bad game for people who are new to RPGs, maybe. So it's a really easy kind of walkthrough. It's just kind of long. Like, it drags at times, so maybe it's not a good one for them because it drags. But, excuse me. But it just didn't, it never really worked out. Probably the best thing about that game are the little dust devils that are like got the angry face and stuff. But that I know I tried to play the second one, the 1,000 Year Doors, for the GameCube, and I only got like 5-10 minutes into it, so just not a good time in my life to have tried to play that. So I can't really say about that one, but the first one, I really wanted to like that game when I was playing it. I was just, and it just, no, that sort of thing. Alright, and the last one I got on here, because this has gone way too long, is Persona 4. Yeah, I don't know why I don't really like the game, but I have tried 3 separate times to play the game, to like it, to get through it more, and each time I play it, I get a little bit further, and I get a lot more disappointed with it. I don't know. I really don't know. I like Persona 3, but I'm not like, oh my goodness, Persona 3 is this super fantastic game. I like it, but and I like the music for it too, for the most part. This one, I'm not feeling the music on, and I'm not feeling. I think I already figured out who the murderer was or is, and so that has got my. And I still don't know, but I think it's. I'm not going to mention the video just in case if there's like 4 other people who haven't played the game, but I have an idea of who it is. And the people I've talked to about it, I tell them my answer, but I don't ask them to tell me if I'm right or wrong. And that's kind of got me hesitant and also just not really wanting to play more because I think I've already figured it out. That's, of course, not to say that people who hadn't figured it out until later or are dumb or anything like that. No, I don't know. There's something about it I just really have not attached myself to or excited to play about it and stuff. I'm just kind of like, I'm okay. So that is my list. Check off. We's done. And I have took way too long talking about this stuff. I had like 2 games. But yeah, if you, what you should do. Well, not what you should do. That's kind of what you should be doing. If you want to, either make a response to my video, or if you haven't, I kind of doubt it, but if you haven't, go watch Johnny's video and make a response video. Let's bring that stuff back. And if you do make a response video, let me know and I'll watch it, and I'll actually, I can comment. If you let me know, I can comment and watch it and be like, oh, that's really, more than just, oh, that's really interesting. But I am very curious to see what kind of RPGs you guys tried to like, but in the end just couldn't really get into them. Or it spiraled into a seething hatred, like my Final Fantasy V. But, yeah, so let's do that. Let's bring back response videos, darn it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.